interrupts, etc. But we checked out the website. It says that module 2 has 8086.
Yes, sir.
That is the Karthik, the old syllabus, na?
Yes, sir. In fact, I'm just coming from that advanced communication lab, sir.
We will post the syllabus today, okay? I feel there is no question, okay? Correct? Okay, what you can see right now that was discussed in the last class. Okay, now I'm concluding this mode 0. And in this mode 0, you can see, you can view here one of the timing diagram. Is it visible to everyone? Or you want this is to be enlarged more? It is okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just see what is happening here. Okay, there are two timing diagram, one on top and one at bottom. Okay, the top is telling you about that inputting of the word from port. Okay, and at the bottom you have the outputting process. Okay, so here what I will say that the processor which is been shown, I'll just make 8085 and 86. Okay, see here, when you are ready to write something on 8255, then what happens that I am going to start with. Okay, then I will go for the read. First, I'm going to take the output, that is this. Okay, so the first thing is that the write signal, what you find in your timing diagram, write signal, then D0 to D7, then A0, A1 and CS and output. Okay, you should remember always that whenever a machine cycle begins, then always it begins by sending the address. Okay, by sending the address, and then next will be the data, and then there will be a control. Okay, there will be a control. So these three, 1, 2 and 3, you have to mind, and their sequence will be first, second and then third.
Sir,
okay,
please change the color of that marker, sir, so that student will be able to.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so what I am saying that once again the marker colors वही आ गया. What I was telling you that you should always remember that your sequence of operation with what you have to remember that this side you have 8085. Okay, and from there 8085, what is coming first, then this part is coming first. Okay, that is the address line. Okay, this is what is the address part comes out first. Okay, and then the data, this is the second part, which is data, and along with the data you can also expect the control. So the first, second and then third. Okay, and after this we will be having the fourth part. Okay, the fourth part is what, that you will be reading the data. Okay, from 8255. That is what is the operation we are discussing. Okay, so this is your fourth part. Am I clear? Okay, and why we are showing like this, that you will come to know. Okay, so just see here that the address is going out, and when it goes out, okay, then in this diagram it is not shown your ALE and all, because it is assumed that ALE and everything is there, and you are directly having this A0, A1 and CS. And with this A0, A1 and CS, what are you finding? You are finding that your address line is appearing for throughout the time period, okay, from here to here, okay, from here to here. That is why it is made as cross. Okay, so please understand this. Okay, and throughout this period, what is happening, that your 8255 with that port address is been given. Okay, now next what is expected, that we want to write into it. Okay, that it is a output process. Okay, and we are outputting something on this. So definitely a data will be going out from your processor 8085 or 8086. Okay, so data is available on the data bus, okay, on the database, but this data will get written into 8255 port, okay, 8255 port only when there is a write cycle. Okay, so the write control, what I said, that it will come as third part. After sending the data, the third part is going to come here as write. Okay, the write signal when it arrives, you can see the write is coming here, but exactly the write begins after some time. Okay, so the actual writing process is being carried out here. Okay, for this much of time only. Are you getting it? Please respond, some of you. Otherwise, I will feel that, okay,
yes,
that I say for myself only. Okay. Okay, so here the writing data, the data, suppose I say, let's see here that in this 1 minute, you see out 83, other places we have only in out here also. Okay, you see out MBI 80 and then out 82. I am saying, suppose that process is going on, then what I'll say, that 80 is been sent out by 8086 or 8085 over this D0 to D7. Now this 80 will get written on the port. What is the port? The port address is 82. It means that this line A1 and A0, A1 and A0 will be carrying what? Will be carrying what? 0 and 1. Okay, so with that value, because it is all during this time. Okay, and once this writing of the data 80 is over, then you can assume that your process is over. Okay, your process is over. Okay, but you can also find one of the thing in your timing diagram, that this is what the data from processor to the port, and now from port to the pin. Okay, from port to the pin, it will be available during this part. Okay, because up till here, what is been assumed? It has been assumed that the data is not been written. See here, what I have written, it is vacant. Okay, the pin output pins, the pin of the port is vacant. Okay, it will be available only after doing this process of writing. Okay, the writing takes this much of time. Okay, in physical sense. Okay, but practically when you observe, you will observe after a delay, the value of 80 is available on pins of your port seat. is it clear, or anything more you want to ask? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Same way, in the read time, what is happening? Okay, read means you want to read the data. Okay, from port to 8085. This is what we want during this time. Okay, so once again, what is the first thing you expect in this time? This is the first thing you want, you expect, because read means you will be writing the instruction in, suppose I mention in port A. Okay, in port A. So definitely the port address, okay, port address will be sent out, okay, and it will be sent out over this address line. Okay, the CS is also getting created because of address line, isn't it? So that is why it is all clubbed together. Okay, so here this will go first, and then this is what is your data line. This is what your data line of the processor and the read. Okay, so this will be going out of your processor. So I will mention here that it is been sent out by your processor, and actually it is recognized by your 8255 during this time. So here your A1, A0, and which is inside, because you have given it now what you expect, it will be decoded by your 8255. Okay, so it is inside of 8255 here also. Okay, 8255 inside story. So this A0 and this data is available on port A, and when we give this signal, what happens that this port A data comes to your D0, D7 with this control, and this signal is been internally decoded and made enable inside the 8255, and the data is being routed to the bus, the data bus. Okay, so here you just see that at the bottom what is being mentioned, that this D0 to D7, this is what is the reading, is the reading time, and this is what is the actually the data available, data filling time. Okay, data filling on this, the reading of the port, this is reading of the port, and this is data filling on the data bus buffer. Okay, so here it has been splitted to make you more clarity about the data transferring from the port to your data bus. Is it okay? This is what is the port data, and this is what from port data to data bus. It's okay?
Sir, I didn't exactly understand the difference between TRD and TDF.
So this is what I am saying, that this data, if you see the diagram here, where is the data? Data is on pin, isn't it? What is in between? In between you have a chip, and definitely this data will pass, okay, through certain circuitry. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so definitely when it passes through some circuitry, it will be consuming some time.
Yes.
Okay, and consuming means the data will be having its travel from here to here. Okay, will be having its travel from here to here. For that, you will be having what? You will be having this time, filling time. Okay, this is the reading time, means when I give this signal, that read signal. Okay, when I give this read signal, and after giving this signal, you take time to reach here. Okay, so that is what is called the reading time. And after reading this data, you have to fill the data on the buffer. So that will again take some time. That is why it has been split into two parts. Now it is clear? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But for your knowledge, what I will tell you, that you don't require this much of explanation if you have been asked this in your exam time. What is been expected from your answer side, that when the read is been given, okay, that time you have to just show here with a bus that the port A to this, the bottom line you can avoid. So only 1, 2, 3 part you just show. With that, your answer is clear. Okay. Okay. Because here what you find that it is more detailed timing analysis of the chip. That is why you are finding it a very detailed thing, and you need not to mention this T, that T, and this T, and this T. Okay, these T's you need not to mention. Okay, because I know you cannot remember all of these things. Okay, so and that is not required. What is required, that whether you understand or not the concept. Okay, so focus on the concept. Don't go inside of it. This you can go only when you are coming across any designing of the circuit. If you have been asked to design some new type of 8255, okay, some newer type of 8255, then in that time, definitely these details need to be understood. Am I clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now I'm moving to the next mode of operation. Okay, and for that I'm going to take this diagram. Okay, so here, okay, see mode 1 port A and mode 1 port B. Okay, so first of all, you see this diagram, then I will do everything with pen, you can understand. Why I wanted to show you this diagram, because it is important. Okay, it is very important. How it is important, that first of all you should understand what is mode 1. Okay, the mode 1 is simply known as handshake mode. What it is known as? Handshake mode. Okay, and when you say handshake mode, then you should also know that what are the types of handshake signal it has. Then my answer to you is that it has got the handshake signal as strobe, and the next handshake signal is that input buffer full, IBF. Okay, it is the case when you are into input. It is the case when you are into input handshaking. Okay, means when you are inputting the data, that time these two types of handshake signals will appear automatically as soon as you select the mode 1. Getting it? What is next? What is next? Output. Okay, what is next is the output. Okay, can you see the figure? Can you see the figure? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
I think 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry, I don't find. Okay, in this figure, you just see one thing. Okay, with that I will explain in the next picture. Okay, see what is written here. It is written as OBF and ACK. Okay, these two handshake signals being utilized when you are into output handshake mode. Is it clear? OBF stands for output buffer full. ACK stands for acknowledge. Okay, so please remember what? That when you are entering into this mode of operation, okay, which mode of operation? You are entering into the mode 1, okay, mode 1, and this mode you can program for two operation. One is your input handshake, and next is your output handshake. It is visible what I am writing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in input handshake, you have two types of handshake signal. One is known as STB, that is strobe. Sorry. That is known as strobe. Okay. And another is your IBF, which is known as input buffer full. Okay, where STB is a input signal, IBF is the output signal. Now you will also having the doubt that this input means what? The answer is this. What I am doing, I am doing it for the 8255. Okay, so when I say input, it means input to 8255, output, then output from 8255. So STB is coming as input and IBF is going out of it. Am I clear? Okay. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Same way, what you are having OBF, output buffer full. This is known as output buffer full. And then what you are having next control? Sorry, ACK.
Acknowledge.
Okay. ACK, which is please correct the spelling, okay? DGE, okay? So don't mind about this spelling, okay? So this is acknowledge, this is output buffer full. Now again I am coming to here that OBF and acknowledge. OBF will be what? Output buffer full will be what?
Input. Input signal.
Input or output? Will be output, because buffer means what? I have told you now the property of the port. What I told you that there is a port, okay? This is a port, and this port is having latching property and buffering, isn't it? And after that you have a pin. After that you have a pin. When you write a data here, okay, when you write a data here, what is going to happen? That the data is full, so OBF. When you when this you are doing, you are means 8085 is doing the writing of the data. When external device is writing the data into this, then what? Then also buffer will be full. Okay, none of the other data will be accepted. Okay, so in that time IBF will get generated. So who generates this signal? My answer to you is that this will be generated by your 8255. Okay, I'll 1 minute. I'll verify also, because see here, arrow is going out of it and acknowledge it is coming in. Okay, so always IBF and OBF will be generated by processor. 8255. You see, IBF is going out. Okay, OBF is going out. You see here, it is going out, and this acknowledge and strobe is coming in. Okay, don't forget this, because this buffer gets full only when the data is available on the port. Okay, and these signals will be generated automatically by 8255. Is it okay now? ठीक है, all the best बच्चों से। लौटने का कब है? Sorry. Okay, so what I am telling, that this input handshake and output handshake, it is going to appear when you are configuring your 8255 in mode 1. And when you configure your 8255 in mode 1, then definitely you will be assigning your ports as input or output. If you assign your port as input, then the input handshake signals will appear automatically for those ports in the name of strobe and IBF. If you assign your ports as output, then their handshake signals will appear as OBF and acknowledge, and OBF will be always output and acknowledge will be always input. Am I clear till here? Yes?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. So now I'm making one more drawing. With that, you will understand. Okay. So here, what I am saying, that I am defining both the port. Why I am saying? Because we are working with two groups of operation. One group that is called group A, another group is called group B. In group A, we have port A. So I'm showing you the diagram, port A as input, that I have done. Okay. Group B, port B is been configured as input. Okay. With port A, what you find? You find the handshake signals STB, okay, and IBF. So you have to write here STB port A, IBF port A, okay. And for your information, I'll tell you that they appear as bar. Bar means what? Active low logic. And when this is no bar, it means active high logic. Okay. And for port B, what you will find? You will find that the same thing, that is the STB B and IBF B. The writing of this B, writing of A tells you that it is related with port A. It is related with port B. Okay. Now question is, which is this pin? Which are these pins? The answer is these pins are from port C. These pins are from port C. Okay. Now question is which pin? Because we know that the port C has got how many pins? 8 pins. Right now it is been utilized as 2 here and 2 here. Then which pin of the port is this and this and this? Then see the figure here. See the figure here. With that, you will understand that it is which pin. Okay. See here. For port A, okay. For port A, what you are finding? You are finding that this is PC4 and this is PC5. Okay, this is PC4 and this is PC5, and there is one more pin which is called PC3, through which you are getting an interrupt generated. Okay, an interrupt generated. So you please mention that. Okay, you please mention that. Okay. And here you see PC0 INTR B, PC1, PC2. PC1 is for IBF, PC2 is for STB. Okay. Can you remember 0, 1, 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Are you getting it? What I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is important to know that which pin is meant for that purpose. Okay. Okay, so what is been left out? The left out part is your INTR. What is that? INTRA. And also what you have here, that INTRB. INTRB. Which is this pin? The answer is PC0. Which is this pin? This pin is your PC2. PC2, and this one?
PC1.
This one? This one?
PC5.
And this one?
PC4.
Okay. You can see one more thing here. Okay. See one more thing here. What is that? That you have internally. These are all external, isn't it? Internally, what you find there is an AND gate. Okay, and that AND gate is having one input INTE. Okay, you know what is this INTE? INTE means interrupt enable. INTE means interrupt enable. Okay. This interrupt, you see here, this interrupt will be generated only when you have IBF full and enable available. Then only this interrupt will be generated. Okay. And you have been taught the ways of data transferring, and if you remember, what are the ways I have said for data transferring? I said that there are 2 ways of data transferring. Okay, there are 2 ways of data transferring. One is your data transferring One was programmed I/O. Programmed I/O. Another was interrupt I/O. Do you remember that? Interrupt I/O. So the interrupt I/O and program I/O, if you remember, their differences means their advantage and disadvantage I have explained. I explained that this 99% of CPU time is wasted. CPU time is wasted in this. You remember? You remember this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and in this, that most of the CPU time is saved. Most of the CPU time saved. Okay. Now, what you find? You find that if you go for interrupt I/O, then this interrupt will come into the picture. If you go for programmed I/O, then these interrupts will not come into the picture. Okay, and these interrupts you can connect to your processor. To your processor means this 8085, which you have been taught, with 5 interrupt pins available. Okay, with 5 interrupt pins available, wherever you want to use, you can use. Either you can use it at trap, at 7.5, 6.5, 5.5, or INTR. You remember? These are the interrupt pins directly available: 7.5, 6.5, 5.5, and INTR. Okay. But
can we use trap for this purpose?
Listen me, I am continuing. But when you go through with these all pins, what you understand that this trap we use only for emergency purposes. But this work is not the emergency work. So that is why we do not use trap. Okay. And when you see this INTR, that time also you find that the uses of INTR is also a difficult task. Difficult in the sense that this is not a vectored interrupt. This is non-vectored interrupt. So non-vectored interrupt means if you use this interrupt to this non-vectored, then you find there is a new problem for you. There is a new job for you. What is the new job? The new job that you have to provide the address of your ISR. You have to provide address of ISR. Because interrupt, when you are saying, it means you want ISR to be executed. Okay, ISR to be executed. So the ISR will be executed in this case only when you provide the address. And you will be also remembering that INTR is not used alone. It has been used with INTA. Okay, and the address what we are using that has got two options. Yes. दिखा दिए सारा. ठीक. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. So what I'm saying that INTR, if you think of using, then this is the new problem you are going to face, because here you do not have any provision through which you can able to send the address. But there is a chip again. Okay, there is a chip again that is called 8259. Okay, and this is called interrupt controller. Okay, so this interrupt controller you are supposed to use for sending these addresses of ISR to 8085 to 8085. Okay, it means this INTR should go to 8279, then 8279 to 8085. Then only you can use INTR. Is that clear? So what you find that if you are having your work getting adjusted with these three vectored interrupt, then there is no problem. But if you feel no, your job is not getting over with these three interrupts, then what is the option that you have to go for the interrupt controller? And when you go for this interrupt controller, what you find? You find that there is not only one INTR available here, you have 8 INTRs. What you have? 8 INTR, which has been named as IR0 to IR7. Okay, IR0 to IR7, and they are all prioritized. Okay, they are all having the priority, and based on their priorities resolved, okay, the address will be sent to 8085, and likely the ISR will be executed. Have you understood what I said till now? Yes. Yes, that how we decide that which interrupt has to be used. That is what I was explaining. Anybody? Got it or not? Karthik, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Prajwal, you? So I feel my students are very intelligent. Amir, one question, because I expect that you should ask this question, but you are not asking. Okay, now I am asking you that suppose I have the intention of using INTR, okay, of 8255, then what should be the steps? What are things I have to do as of configuring 8255? Yes, the
Yes.
diagram is here.
Yes, sir.
So I want to use this interrupt. What are the things I have to do?
Sir, we have to keep PC3 as high, the others as low, and use that in the control word.
See, you should understand one thing here, that first of all, this control word has to be created, but when you are creating this control word, that time nowhere this INT is coming, isn't it? In this
Yes,
control word, nowhere it is coming. But what I am saying you that you should use this INTR. Then definitely you have to find that how to make this as enable. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the answer? Do you have the answer?
No, sir.
No. So the answer is that you should know the status word. Okay. You should know the status word. Then only you can able to do this. Okay. Then only you can do that. Okay. Now look at the status word. You see here.
Sir,
You just see here.
Zoom it, sir.
Status word. Okay. Here, this status word I am just writing D7. 1 minute. Everybody everything is written in this figure, but आगे 2 minutes. So what I am saying is status word. Okay, this status word you have to think in this format, 8-bit format. That is this. Okay, and what this status word says? The status word says that this D0 is your INTR B. Okay, this says that IBFB. This says that INTE B. This says that INTR A. Okay, this says that INT A 4, INT E A, and then this is IBF A, and this is input output. Are you understanding? This is the case when you are in input handset mode. This is the case when you are in input handset mode. Okay, that is why I is appearing. And another information I want to give you that this is nothing but PC0, this is nothing but PC1, this is nothing but PC2, and so on, and this is nothing but PC7. Prajwal?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting now? Now you just verify where is the IBFB in your diagram? IBFB. See the diagram?
PC1.
PC1. Where is the INTR? PC0. And where is the STB?
PC2,
PC.
yes, sir. Understood.
But in status word, your STB is nothing but INTE. Okay, that is PC2. And for your information, I'll tell you that if you have the intention of using INTR, okay, INTR of A or B, then you must make your PC2 for B and PC4 for A as 1 and 1. How you can do that? Then the answer is you should use BSR mode. How you can do that? You should use BSR mode. Have you got it? Have
Yes,
you got
sir.
it? Okay. So what is to be done? First of all, you have to create a control word for IO mode. Okay. And then you have to again create a control word for BSR mode. Then only you will be in a position to use interrupt. You will be in a position to use interrupt. Okay? Clear? And also in 8085, you have to make that which interrupt you have decided here. Based on that, you have to use SIM. Clear? And then AI. This is to be done in 8085, and that is to be done for your 8255. This is to be done for 8255. But everything has to be written from where? Everything has to be written from your 8085. Because 8085, through 8085 only you are programming your 8255. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So for today, I think it is enough now. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next class sorry, next class I will show you, okay, the programming part, and also I will show you the output part. Okay, today I've just taken the input. In the next class I'll take the output handshake, and then I'll take some example. The examples will be taken for both programmed IO type example and interrupt IO type example. Okay, then your concept will be clear. And for your information also, I'll tell you that after completing this mode 1 in input handshake and output handshake, you will find that your mode 2 is also getting completed, because mode 2 is your bidirectional mode, and in that bidirectional mode these two will get merged together. Okay, and that too for port A only. Okay, and that is the reason why you find that the 2 pins are available here. The 2 pins are available here, that is your PC 6 and 7 available for inputting and outputting, but none of the other pins are available for your uses. Okay, these things you cannot use. Okay, or if you are writing or reading something from here, sorry, writing anything here, that is not going to affect anything on the pins of port, these pins of port. Okay, because they are automatically controlled by 8255. Okay, and also you can understand that what is the necessity of having 8255. Okay, if I ask you to make the logic circuit, okay, for creating all these things, you can understand that what kind of complexity you will be coming across. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.